Good morning, family, friends, and neighbors of the Ketchikan Public Library. This is DIY with Gayle. Today, we're going to talk about COVID. Our numbers are up, so the library is closed to the public. We are doing the curbside. If you come on down here, I'll give you a little look at what's going on. Basically, we have went back to our curbside service. So if you'll give us a call at the 225-3331 and let us know what you'd like for holds, or you can go on to our KetchikanPublicLibrary.org website and place your holds there. If you don't know how to place a hold, Kelly made a wonderful little video, and it is on the page, the website page. So please take a look at that. If you don't know what you want and you would just like a librarian to pick out special materials for you, give us a call, same number, and we will make you a bag of things, hopefully, that you will enjoy. Also, our tax forms and PFD forms will be outside of the doors of the library from 10 till 5:45. So you can pick those up if you need them. If you need masks, please give us a call. We'll add it to your bag. We still have a lot of masks, and we are more than willing to hand them out to you. So please remember, tax forms, PFD forms out front. We've got you covered. We still have the maker bags for adults, teens, and kids. Call in. You can pick those up at curbside also. If you do curbside for your books, please remember you're putting them on hold on one day and picking them up the next day. I hope that makes sense. We're doing the best we can. All right, let's get started. Today we're going to work with the squares that we made last week. We did, what did we do? We did granny squares. And I want to show you how to put your granny squares together. Okay? So, I'm going to move a couple of things out of the way here. And these are the granny squares that I did. I have several here, and I'm going to show you what to do with them. These I happen to make with an eye hook. Most of my squares today are done with the eye hook, and this is what you can do with your squares. Now, I have not sewn this together yet. It's just here for you to take a peek. This is done with 3 squares, and I took 8 pieces of thread and just braided to make the arm thing. This is going to be for my granddaughter. I have 2 granddaughters who are age 5, and that's what I'm going to do. So what this is, now, like I said, it's 3 granny squares, and I didn't sew them together. I've just pinned them, and I would like to say, if you have not tried these wonderful clips for your knitting and crocheting, I highly recommend them. I've always used pins, and recently I had heard about these, and oh my goodness, they're awesome, especially for this. As you can see, I was able to put my squares together, and you need to have them nice and put together so that when you're stitching, you don't have to worry. It's all put together, and you've got your hole and hole and your 3 and 3, and it comes together really well. Now let me show you how this one is put together. So you take 3 of your granny squares, okay, fold the bottom one up, okay, that's my bottom of my purse right there. Fold the other one, and it goes right here, and then fold the other one, and it goes right here. And look at that. Isn't it lovely? And so that'll give me 2 gorgeous little purses for my granddaughters. Okay? So there's my pattern and shape. Okay? And I still have more to show you, so give me a minute. And then on over to this one. I went huge. on this one because I happen to have, I don't know how many squares. I'll have to look. I don't remember how many squares. This is the first time I've ever done anything this big. And this one is also a bag that opens at the top here. And I have made a lining in it just to give it that extra because I'm going to use this for my knitting and crocheting. And I didn't want my hooks or anything coming out. So I did do a lining in it. And I will be sewing this and adding these wonderful little handles. And that's how that one will look. And then down here, I showed you these last time. This was made with a very small needle. These, and I've already put them together. I put those together a while back. And that, actually, when I went around it, I added 3 little chain stitches to make a loop there. And then I'm going to put buttons here so that my cuff buttons. And basically, mine is just a single color of this one right here. See that? I didn't do my edging the same. I did my edging just with a single crochet all the way around. All right, so let's show you what I'm talking about when we put things together. Because there are several different ways to put your squares together. I like to crochet. You can use a needle and do it, but I prefer to crochet mine together. I like the look of the square, so I like to keep the square looking like a square. So if you zoom in on here, you can see that each of my squares looks like it is outlined by the way that I stitched it. Ignore that tail, there's a tail there. Okay, see how that goes? You can just see the lines forming around. And that's the look I like. And to do that one, we put our squares together, and we're going to start right in the corner where we have that chain 2, right there. Oops, let me take this off. Okay, so we're putting our hook in to that chain 2, and I want the loop that's closest to me. On the other one that I'm sewing it to, I'm going to go into the loop that is furthest away from me. Okay, and then I take my yarn, and I'm just doing basically a slip stitch. Okay, so the next one, back of the loop and back of the loop, pulling through all loops. Again, here's the back of my loop, back of my loop. Oops, hang on, I got the front of my loop on that one. Told you wrong. There it is. Back and pull. Back and back. And the biggest thing is keep your square lined up. If you're going into the chain 2 here, you should be going into the chain 2 on your other one. Okay? And then it's just pull all the way through. Next one. And pull all the way through. And pull. And I'll open it and we'll see if we've got it. And there it is. See how my lines have started? And see how it's nice and stitched in there with the same color. You can't even tell where that stitching is. Okay? So, as I said, with this one, it's back loops. Okay? I'm going to do a couple more of those for you to see, and then we're going to switch to a different way of doing it. So, the one closest to me the one furthest away from me, and pull through all. The one closest to me, the one furthest from me, and pull through all. Okay? And that makes that nice little square one we talked about. Okay? I'm going to grab 2 more, and I'm going to show you a different way to put them together. Again, we still put our squares together, making sure my front sides are together. Let's talk about our front sides for a minute. Come on in close, and I'm going to show you the difference between the front and the back. This is our front. I'm going to turn this one over so you can see the front and the back side by side. So there isn't much of a difference, and if you like this side, you can use it as front. Okay? But if you get close, you can see there is a difference. So if you messed it up and put one way and one the other way, you would see the difference. If you put them all the same way, no problem. All right. So I've put my right sides together. Again, I'm going to start in the corner using the same size hook that I used to make the square, which in this case is an eye. I'm going to go into my loops to pull them together. Where's my end? I need an end here. On this one, I'm going to do a chain 3. Okay? And then I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to skip about 3. 1, 2, 3, and go into, you can go into the whole thing, the whole loop, okay? No front, no back, just the whole loop on there. Pull it in. Whoops, I missed it. If that happens, just continue to pull it through. It split my yarn there. And then chain 3, 1, 2, 3. And now you're coming back to the one over here, okay? And I want to go through all of them and just pull. And then 1, 2, 3, and then go back over here, 1, 2, 3, and go into this one. One, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and go into this one. And what this one looks like when you open it up is it gives you this. And it'll go all the way up, leaving those little holes, if you will. Okay? And they look absolutely adorable all put together. Okay? So this is, as I said, your eye hook and putting together the eye size. And let's go back and talk about squares for just 1 second, because I want to share something with you. As I said, with these 2 stitches, you can do anything, okay? Just anything. If you want to go ahead, I'm going to show you one more just for the heck of it here, and it's going to make it a little difficult, but this one, all I'm going to do is crochet across the whole thing. And I'm going to give you that option. I wasn't going to, but I'm going to. Especially if you're able to crochet. I'm going to go just through the loops. I'm not really going into anything else, doing my little secure it there. And then you can just crochet. Go in one, or both of them, 1 stitch, 1 stitch. And pull. Next one, go into this stitch and into that stitch and just pull. You can do this on the front of the square or on the back of the square, depending on what you want it to look like. I have the shakes really bad today. It's been an interesting day already. So when you go to your middle, you're still doing 2 in there, okay? Whoops, I tried to do a single crochet there. Okay, so in this one, pull through all, in, do you see them? Can you see them on the hook there? And then we're just going to pull through all. And this one just, you can't even tell where the squares end and begin, but there are 3 different ways to put your hooks together. 1, 2, and the other one is down here, 3. Okay, so now that I've covered what I wanted to cover in this, I want to show you something about this purse that I'm making. I am making this one right here. There are 24 squares in this purse, and I'd like you to come up and look at it. So I will tell you, the white part of these squares I picked up at Rendezvous, that's our secondhand store here, and brought them home, and I put the variegated around it. I pick up things like this because I think it's neat to take something that somebody else has already, worked on and finish it. I don't want them to end up in the trash. But as I was putting the variegated around each of these squares, I realized there are 3 squares in here that actually are made from a different weight of the cream colored yarn. And I actually have pointed them out to you as we were talking about it. And if you noticed, that's really cool. But I don't think most people will notice, and so I'm going to have you come back in now that you know that I have 2 different yarns here. Okay, so this one is a very, as you can see, kind of fluffy, lightweight yarn. And then the one next to it is actually a little bit, I don't know, it's even slightly different in color. But it really, honestly, does not matter. From a distance, you cannot tell my purse has different colored yarn in it. So remember that when you're, using up your scrap yarns and whatnot. If you don't have scrap yarn, go into your secondhand store. They actually have hooks, needles, yarn. I mentioned to you once before, if you pick up yarn at the secondhand store, you can put it in a pair of nylons. Okay, just stuff it in there. Take the paper off, leave it just like this, put it in the nylons, tie each end firmly up against the ends of the yarn, and throw it in the wash. It works beautifully. Your yarn doesn't come apart. It washes and dries beautifully, and once you pull it out of the nylon, you don't even know it's been through the washer. And that is thank you to my husband. He discovered that because I kept bringing home yarn going, how do we do this? And so please, try it. Give it a try. Go in. The bags at the library are Explorer kits. You guys have been amazing. They've been out. They're on hold. Please continue to put them on hold and give it a try. All right. Mask on. Be safe. And we'll see you soon at the library.